The Trenton Golden Hawks are buckling.
Well, the two teams fighting for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Northeast went toe-to-toe last weekend, but Newmarket made short work of Lindsay in a dominant performance in front of its home fans. Highlights coming up. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everybody. We'll have all the video of the aforementioned showdown coming up shortly. Also today, a feature story on Oakville Blades superstar Bryce Misley, and we'll catch up with the Mississauga Chargers in this week's team report. That is all coming up later on. But first, the bar down game highlights, and Coach Mark Juris and his boys are the hottest team in the OJ right now. Unbeaten in 13 games. The Burlington Cougars have served notice. They are definitely a squad to be reckoned with. And Friday night, they faced off against their bitter Halton region rivals, the Oakville Blades, in a bid to keep that streak alive. OJ Highlights brought to you by Bar Down, official clothing supplier to the OJHL. The Battle of Halton region, always intense. This one was no exception. Early on, Daniel Jellick, point shot, ping off the iron though. Burlington strikes first. It's a weird one. Zach Fisher pressures T-man Jeff Clark, and somehow it slides past Brennan McGlynn. Cougars lead 1-0, and it was Teddy Bear Toss night at Appleby Arena, benefiting the Toys for Tots program. Fans littering the ice with donations. Well done, Burlington. And soon after, another weird one. Matt Kenny shot the flex off a stick, and in it goes. Cougs up 2-0 off two bizarre ones. They'll take it any way they can, though. No love lost between these two squads. The hit parade was out. First, Matthew Kellenberger gets smoked by Wyatt Hicken, and then moments later, the Blades Jackson bails, absolutely bulldozing a Cougars player. Oakville does get one back before the end of the period. Bailey Newton deposits the nice pass out front, and the lead gets cut to 1. Skip ahead to the third period now. McGlynn with the save of the week on Dante Filicetti, who's left shaking his head. Nothing the keeper could do about this one, though. Chris Cobham feeds the streaking Philip Laganov. Hard landing for Laganov, but he would be okay, and the Cougs pad their lead to 2. Oakville narrows the gap again with a minute and a half left as Bryce Misley wiring it past the keeper here. Alas, that would not be enough for Oakville on this day as Burlington holds on for the 3-2 win over their rivals. The Cougars on fire right now. 10 straight wins and unbeaten in 13. They haven't lost since all the way back on October 22nd. Well, the Whitby Fury were brimming with confidence last Saturday, fresh off a huge 3-1 win over division leaders Trenton the night before. So it would have seemed, at least, that the Stouffville Spirit would be easy pickings for them. The Spirit were sliding, having lost 5 straight heading into this game. But you can't take your foot off the gas even for a second in the OJ, as the Fury found out the hard way. The Spirit needed to break out in a big way, and they sure did in this one. Midway through the first, short-handed no less, David Cooksis wraps home the rebound, and it's 1-0. 2 minutes later, off another scramble out front. This time it's Andrew Hughes putting it home, 2-0, and they keep it up in the second frame. Hughes to Joseph Teofilo out front. Nice. Spirit go up 3-0, and the Fury finally hit the score sheet 11 minutes into the second. Jeffrey Gold snipes it past Aaron Taylor to cut the lead to 2, but then Jackson Savory keeps digging and finally hits pay dirt. Spirit up 4-1. They were relentless. Third period, 22 seconds in on the power play. Jack Varga going for a little skate and then snipes it home, 5-1. Stouffville, and they would trade goals back and forth after that. End result was a big 7-4 victory for the Spirit. As mentioned, much needed as they were on a 5-game slide, and with the win, they keep pace with Markham in the chase for first in the North. Okay, Cobourg were in Newmarket taking on the Hurricanes. This one was physical. Matt Carroll laying the open ice smackdown on Eric Kluchak. Huge. Second period, this one could have been dangerous. Christian Dedinato falls awkwardly, and here's why. The Cobourg door not fully shut, and Dido nearly takes his head off. Ouch. He was in some serious discomfort, but thankfully he was okay. Coburg breaks the ice 6:25 in. The puck takes a carom off the board right to Hunter Atchison. Easy pickings, 1-0 for the Cougars. Final frame, they add some insurance. The initial stop is made, but Connor McEachern and Johnny on the spot to knock it home. 2-0 Cougars. That's how it finished up. And that was the Cougars' 5th straight win. And get this, their 3rd straight shutout. That is impressive. Coburg has allowed just 70 goals all season, and that's 2nd lowest in the OJ, behind only Trenton. Okay, the Bar Down Players of the Month brought to you by Bar Down Hockey, official clothing supplier to the OJHL. Goalie of the Month, Chris Jansen of Trenton, with a 5-0-1 record and a 1.46 goals against average. Northeast Conference player Ryan Castleman of Coburg. And in the Southwest, St. Mike's D-man Mark Paolini taking the award. OJ commitments from the past week, just wanted to tell you about, but it was a big one. Mason Snell, D-man from the Whitby Fury, with 1 goal and 9 assists in 27 games played this season. He commits to the Penn State Nittany Lions for the 2019-20 season. Congratulations for Mason. OJ Trivia this week. The question is, who won the 2015-16 OJHL Goalie of the Year award? The first person with the correct answer emailed to Rick Morocco, that's rmorocco at the OJHL.ca, wins an OJ prize pack. Welcome back. Well, NHL Central Scouting recently came out with their list of players to watch for next year's draft. And one prominent name from the OJ is Oakville Blades superstar Bryce Misley. Now, the uber-talented 17-year-old will take his game to Vermont of the NCAA in the near future. But before that, he's got his sights set on leading the Blades to the Buckland Cup. Rarely has a 17-year-old been the main man for the historically veteran-driven Oakville Blades. But then again, Bryce Misley isn't your typical 17-year-old hockey player. NHL scouts are keeping a close eye on him for the 2017 draft, and he was a 2015 selection of the OHL's Peterborough Petes. But Misley wanted to go the NCAA route and was looking for the right fit in the OJHL.
Yeah, I was drafted by Peterborough. I knew I wouldn't play the first year being a 6th-round draft pick. And I also knew deep down that I wanted to go to school. NCAA was where I wanted to go, so playing in this league has really helped my development. And I think it's made me a better player. And in the future, it's given me a better chance to complete my dream, which is to be in the NHL, obviously. I asked my dad to do research and find out what the best junior A team to play for would be. And the Blades came up as one of the names, so I got an email from them saying come try out. So I thought I'd give it a shot, and lucky enough I made the team, and I wouldn't have it any way. I mean, it's been great.
Misley's hockey smarts, personality, and obviously his high skill level have made him a favorite with his teammates and Blades head coach Mike Tarantino.
Well, I think Bryce's biggest attribute is his brain. He's a very intelligent hockey player. In terms of the skill set, he can skate, he can shoot, he's 6'2", he can win face-offs. You can kind of put him in any situation, and that's saying a lot given the veterans we have on our team and given the fact he's only 17 years old. So he's got a real top-end skill set, but ultimately it's his complete game and his hockey IQ that separates him.
Miz as a teammate, just great guy, works hard, stays humble. There's a lot of talk about him right now because he's obviously doing real well on the ice, but he hasn't let it get to his head, and he's a great guy in the room, loves to joke around, keep it light, even with all the pressure that's on him right now in his draft year. So,
I think on the ice, my biggest attribute is my hockey sense. I think the game well, and I play a two-way game. I model it after Jonathan Toews, and I think on the ice, my biggest personality says that I'm a competitor and I want to win. I think that's helped me out a lot. Whether it's being on the ice for hockey or gym class playing, I don't know, badminton or something. I'm always competing. I always want to win.
The accomplishments are coming fast and furious for Misley. He was recently named to Team Canada East for the upcoming World Junior A Challenge, and in 2018, he'll take his game to the Vermont Catamounts of Hockey East, a program he's long admired.
I went down to Vermont for a visit last year around Christmas, and being from out west with all the mountains and everything like that, it reminded me so much of home. So I loved it right from the start. Not only just the city and the state of Vermont, but also the hockey there. It's in Hockey East, which is the conference I wanted to play in. And yeah, the rink is really cool. It's got a ton of history. Players like Marty St. Louis, Patrick Sharp have played there, so you know it's the spot you want to be. And the coaching staff made me feel welcome, so I'm excited for it, and hopefully it'll be a good 4 years.
Well, he's received a lot. You know, I've personally spoke to a lot of NHL scouts about him and Central Scouting. You know, he's a guy that, you know, if he keeps it up, will obviously get picked up this year in the NHL draft, and they project him, you know, as anywhere as a top 2-line centerman, but for sure, at the worst case scenario, as a 3rd-line centerman, because he does do everything well. His skill and his brain, as mentioned, really is two big strengths.
Yeah, my ultimate goal, I mean, like every other kid in Canada, is playing the NHL. So that's what I'm working towards every day of my life, and hopefully it'll work out.
Okay, Misley and several OJHLers had their last chance to impress Team Canada East coaches Tuesday in an exhibition game against 96-born OJ All-Stars. 25 seconds in, St. Mike's forward Finn Evans makes it 1-0 Canada East with a nice tip in. And then it's Jack McBain of the Junior Canadians setting up Lucas Terrius to make it 2-0 for Canada East. Second period, though, the OJ Stars get their groove back. Chris Cobham to Jeremy Pilara, snipe, and the lead is cut to 2-1. And then it's Chris Sekelic squeezing it past Hunter Jones, and they were all knotted up at 1 apiece. But then it's the guy we were just talking about, Bryce Misley, showing off the buttery soft hands to give the East back the lead, and it was 3-2. But hold on. Matt Watson from the point. He goes 5-hole on Jones to even things up once again. 3-3. This was actually a great game. Back and forth. Third frame. McBain makes it 4-3 for Canada East. But of course, that wasn't it. 44 seconds later, Braden Storts hammers it home. And it's a 4-4 hockey game, but then it was Misley time once again. Bryce going top shelf past Logan Gauthier, and that proved to be the game winner and possibly secured Misley a spot on the team. The East would add an empty netter for the 6-4 win. They departed for Alberta on Thursday in anticipation of their next exhibition game against Russia on December 9th. And we've got news. The 6 OJ players chosen to the final roster: Finn Evans of St. Mike's, Hunter Jones of Stouffville, Luke Keenan of Whitby, Jack McBain of the JRCs, Bryce Misley of Oakville, Nick Mucci of Wellington. Congrats to all. And OJ staff: Brett Garbett, Director of Hockey Operations, Jeff Flanagan, Amanda Gilroy of Whitby, and Craig Clayton, the Equipment Manager from Oakville. Welcome back. You know, despite the fact that there is nearly 3 months of regular season play left on the schedule, it appears as though the first 7 playoff spots are already spoken for. Now, the real battle will be for the 8th and final spot, and Sunday saw the 2 teams most likely to challenge for that coveted placement facing off, Newmarket and Lindsay. It was a playoff atmosphere at Ray Twinney Arena in anticipation of the big game, but from the opening puck drop, this one was all Hurricanes. The Hurricanes 6 points ahead of the Muskies for the 8th and final playoff spot, and they were pumped and ready for this one. Just 3:36 in, Todd Winder uses Alex Irulo as a decoy and tucks it past Sean Green to give the Canes the 1-0 lead. 5 minutes later, Joseph Mitzi finds just a sliver of daylight past Green. A sliver is all he needs. Newmarket pads its lead to 2-0. The Canes were relentless in the first. Lucky break is the puck deflects off a Lindsay stick. Jake Chella getting credit for it. And it's 3-zip. Newmarket, and they kept their foot on the gas in the second. It's Winder again. The Hurricanes team captain snipes it past Green to give Newmarket a huge 4-goal cushion. And they didn't let up. Green making the initial stop here. Dimitri Nikogiannakis. Thankfully, that was the only goal he scored, so I don't have to say that name again. It makes it 5-0 Hurricanes. Green under fire all game, but he did have some good stops. Here he robs Chella on the breakaway to keep the deficit at 5 goals, but only momentarily. Canes on the power play. Marco Bozzo parked at the side of the net, deposits it to make it a 6-goal bulge. Gets the monkey off his back. First goal in 8 games. Lindsay would add 3 in the third, but they weren't coming back in this one. The Canes add 1 as well to make it 7-3. Newmarket with a comfortable 6-point bulge over the Fish for that 8th and final playoff spot. Well, the Georgetown Raiders have been an ornery bunch since having their 19-game unbeaten streak snapped at the hands of the Orangeville Flyers a couple of weeks ago. Now, since that loss, G-Town has reeled off 4 straight wins, shredding its opponents for 19 goals over that stretch. The Toronto Patriots were the latest team to feel the wrath of the Raiders last Saturday. The Pats were coming off a big 4-1 win over the Junior Canadians, but this one was all Raiders. 7:54 in, Josh Dickinson, sweet effort, tucks it past Cam Gray. G-Town jumps out to the 1-0 lead. Just before the end of the period, mad scramble around the Toronto net. Dickinson will grab his second of the night right there, and the Raiders go up by a deuce. Second frame, they would add another. Daniel Burno collecting the pass from Matt McJanet. He risks it past Gray, and it's 3-zip for the Georgetown Raiders. Third period now, Raiders on the PP. They work it around to perfection. Zach Dybowski going roof daddy, and G-Town expands its lead to 4-0. But the Pats would snap the shutout at the 16:24 mark. Look at the gorgeous tip by Brett Bannister. Remember how your coach tells you to always have your stick on the ice? That is why. Very nice. And they'd grab one more on the power play. Lee Lapid getting a couple of cracks at it. He gets the second one to go past Nicholas Latinovich to cut the lead in half. Not enough, though, as the Raiders would add one more to make it a 5-2 final. Georgetown just keeps on rolling. They've now lost just once in their last 23 games, and they remain 8 points ahead of hard-charging Burlington. Okay, one more for you. Markham hosting Kingston. Thanks to our friends at Rogers TV for the great footage. Markham breaking the ice, 8:38 in. William Sermon, nice solo effort. Wills it past Zach Springer to give the Royals the 1-0 advantage. The V's knot things up, though, just over 2 minutes later. Austin Klazenia snapping it past Graham Schropp, and K-Town evens the proceedings at 1 apiece. Exactly 2 minutes later, though, gorgeous passing. Riley St. Onge to Lane McKay. What a play. Markham jumps ahead 2-1. With 1 second left in the period, though, on the power play, Dorian Overland knocks it home to make it 2-2 heading into the dressing room. Second period, Markham regains the advantage. Sermon 2-0 with Lucas Cadada. Doesn't need him, though. He deposits it. And the Royals jump ahead. It's 3-2. But once again, Kingston comes right back. Danny Bosio using Cole Edwards as a decoy. He goes bar down on Schropp. Gorgeous shot, and the V's aren't going away anytime soon. It's all tied up at 3 apiece. Third period, though, Markham takes control. Jonathan Techi to Sam Hu, and who's your daddy? Royals back in front. It's 4-3, and they add one more for insurance. Justin Bennett turns and burns it past Springer. That is his first goal as Royals since coming over from Stouffville in a trade back in November, and that is a big win for the Royals. With Stouffville picking up a W over Whitby earlier that weekend, Markham maintains its 8-point bulge over the Spirit at the top of the North Division. Speaking of which, let's take a look then at the OJ standings. Starting in the East, Trenton with a 6-point lead over Cobourg, followed by Whitby, the Wellington Dukes, and Kingston closely following them. North Division, Markham, as mentioned, 8-point lead over Stouffville, followed by Newmarket. Lindsay, and Pickering and Aurora in a tie for 5th right now. South Division, St. Mike's just a 2-point lead over Oakville, followed by North York. The Patriots, the JRCs, Mississauga currently in last place. And in the West, Georgetown keeps its 8-point lead over hard-charging Burlington, followed by Buffalo, Orangeville, and Milton in last place with just 7 points. Alumni update for this week. Lots of stuff. Parker Gahagan of Buffalo. AHC goalie of the week, Jason Pucciarelli. Of Salem State named Mascak goalie of the week. And Evan Buitenhouse with Hamilton College, NESCAC player of the week. Sean McParland of South Carolina, the ECHL, named ECHL rookie of the week. Ryan Schmelzer of Canisius, AHC player of the week. And Sean Hulshoff of Oswego named Suniac player of the week. Welcome back. Well, the Mississauga Chargers find themselves staring up at the rest of the South Division right now in last place, but the squad is not to be taken lightly. The Chargers may lose, but they'll leave teams black and blue in the process. With the lunch bucket blue-collar mentality, every game is a battle, and with wins this season over OJ Powers, Wellington, and St. Mike's under their belt, they've proven they have the power to surprise as well. Mississauga, this week's team report brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk. Get stronger every day. Last season will go down as a learning experience for the Mississauga Chargers. Despite sending multiple players on to Major Junior, the squad languished in last place in the South Division, missing out on the 8th and final playoff spot.
I was a little disappointed last year. I think we came in with a little higher expectations, but we did have quite a lot younger team. So it was more of a development and a process to get everybody on board with systems and a longer season and playing against older players. So there were some successful points, but then there was there was some blowouts. So it was a learning curve, and we have a lot of those players back this year, which helps.
This year, the Chargers have had difficulty finding consistency, but already have nearly equaled their win total of last season, an indication as to how far they've come in a short time. Now, if they could just do something about that lack of goal scoring, which is currently 21st out of 22 teams in the league.
It might sound a little cliche, but a lot of it all starts in practice. I hear a lot of glass in practice, and then you'll see a lot of glass in games. So we got to get better habits there. And sometimes it's just we got to have a little more drive going to the net, going to the dirty areas, and a little more will to make sure that we're getting enough on the puck that it's going to find the back of the net.
This season we started off really slow, but the group started getting closer, and we started getting some more clutch wins and dealing with some teams we shouldn't, people think we shouldn't have beaten, but our whole team's been just getting closer together, and we know we can beat any team when we go into any game.
We absolutely need to be physical from the start. Smash them, dirty, whack them, then we got to be disciplined after that, right? When we play well in our barn, we're blocking shots, we're back checking, and it's just our short.
Cyber, yeah. Losey, yeah. Tabby, yeah. Rudder, yeah. Zonal, yeah. Yeah. All right, here we go, boys.
One player head coach Joe Washkarek has leaned heavily on so far, and for good reason, is Christopher Karabasis. Averaging a point per game, he's the Chargers' leading scorer by a wide margin.
Well, I think he's just a natural scorer. He knows where to be all the time around the net, and when we need a big goal, he seems to pull through all the time.
Cabby's our clutch guy this season. I don't know if we saw it coming, but when the puck finds his stick, he's got such a quick release, and even just a knack to score. Whether it's deflection, it's off his shin pad, but it's his sort of drive to be in the right place at the right time.
Continuing their tradition of nurturing young talent, meet D-man Joseph Rapoli. The 5th-round selection of the Oshawa Generals is already a dominant force in the OJHL at just 16 years old. And at 6'3" and 200 pounds, he's a combination of size, skill, and physicality you don't often see.
Rapoli's just a big kid. He's 16 years old. He looks like the oldest guy on the ice. Yeah, so he was drafted to the Generals, and he'll probably have a good shot at making that team. He's really skilled and composes the puck.
2 veterans leading the way for the Chargers have been Shane "Frenchie" Beaulieu and Max Rutledge.
Frenchie's a leader on the ice. Whenever he grabs a puck, he has confidence with it, and all the guys know it, so it just calms everyone down right away. You'll see him on the power play. He plays a point, so he kind of controls it there, and just a leader on the ice. So he'll find the back of the net, or he'll find your tape, and he'll just contribute to the team in whatever way he can.
Rutter's probably one of the more skilled guys in the dressing room. He uses the smallest stick. It might even be a junior flex, but he's a great stick handler, quick release, and just a smart player, real composed with the puck. A lot of patience with it as well.
Mississauga is a young squad this year, still getting its feet wet, and they feel that as the season progresses and they gel a bit more, they may just surprise people.
This team, a lot of guys count us out at the beginning of the year, and I know that if we just keep working hard, we can always just get our way into the playoffs, and when you make the playoffs, anything happen. And we've been known to surprise teams, so if we make the playoffs, anything happen there.
This week's Top 5 brought to you by Jostens, official championship ring provider to the OJHL. Number 5, Coburg's Matt Carroll. A huge open ice hit on Eric Kluchek, but I think Carroll got as good as he gave there, though. Huge hit nonetheless. Number 4, Toronto Patriots' Brett Bannister keeping his stick on the ice for the gorgeous tip. Past Georgetown's Nick Latinovich. Number 3, beautiful passing by Markham here. Lucas Kandata to Riley St. Onge to Lane McKay. Tic-tac-toe. Part of a huge Royals win over Kingston on Sunday. Number 2, Newmarket's Joseph Mitzi threading the needle against Lindsay. I'm talking he had about an inch either way of daylight, and he found it for the beautiful goal. And number 1, Oakville's Brendan McGlynn with the utter larceny on Dante Felisetti's one-timer. Take another look here. The stretch, the save, the OJ play of the week. And that is going to wrap it up for this week. But just remember, to keep up to date on everything with the league, you can always head to ojhl.ca. On Twitter, you can find it at OJHLofficial. And on Facebook, at facebook.com/OJHLofficial. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. And we will see you next week.